Hello, and welcome to International Women's Day. It's a joy and a pleasure to be here and to be able to talk to you about something I don't usually talk about. I typically talk about brain health and neuroplasticity. Today, I'm talking about how to change the world for good. All of us know powerful and well known women who personally make a difference on this planet by speaking or writing or even singing. Each one of us as individuals, however, can also make an impact for good on this earth. We can volunteer our time, talents, and resources to a cause that ignites our personal passion. Causes like the safety of our children, education for women and girls, food for the undernourished, equal human rights, clean water sources for everyone. Or perhaps we can offer to remind each person of power or influence in a text, an email, or a letter that we are all one, that what happens to my sisters happens to me, that what I deserve, all of my sisters deserve, and when I succeed, my sisters succeed. When I was younger, I thought, what can I do? I'm just one person with no influence, no power, no political or financial prestige, no public office. But I watched my mother and my grandmother volunteer as a matter of daily life in our tiny farming community in the southern United States, where a little more than only 200 people lived and worked. They offered to serve on school committees, to play the piano for a gathering, make a quilt or a baby blanket, tell stories to children who needed attention, or give time off to mothers who needed a break. I saw them cook meals for those who might need them, take a bouquet of flowers to an elderly man or woman from their garden. I saw them visit the lonely or sick, and they sent greeting cards either through the mail or delivered to someone's doorstep for every occasion with a personal handwritten note of loving concern. I watched them take the time to talk to young women about life and help them make good choices. I was one of those young women. And finally, it dawned on me my humble, not wealthy, not famous mother and grandmother were changing the world for good, one person at a time, in the best way they knew how. They simply saw a need and stepped in to help. My daring grandmother had her own general store in the 1920s, long before it was considered a viable possibility for women to own a business. She thoughtfully and respectfully served each customer, regardless of race, color, age, education, religion, or economic status. She served each one in the order they arrived in her place of business, with care and compassion for their own individual needs. She was unwavering in her very unpopular belief at that time that all people are created equal. My mother taught primary school as a substitute teacher. She served as the volunteer pianist in a rural church for 63 years. She directed plays and concerts, tutored young women, formed committees of other mothers, helped girls and families in need of food, clothing, school books, and hope. And she served as a model of service to her small community. I must say, I was mightily blessed to have such impressive female role models. And each one of us on this International Women's Day, March 8th, 2023, have the privilege and the choice to also be a role model, even if for just one young woman, one little girl, one lonely grandmother, one struggling mom. Emily Dickinson, the American poet, wrote, "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not have lived in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not have lived in vain." I'm honored to know the Nashville singer, songwriter, and performer Jana Stanfield. She's written many inspirational songs and phrases that have stayed with me over the years, but I have one favorite that has become my personal theme song or mantra. I do my best to play it in my head and my heart every single day. In her song, All the Good, which you can find online, she sings these words, which she wrote. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. Let me repeat that. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. That's it. There are no other lyrics. She sings them over and over with a background chorus of other singers in Chinese, Spanish, Hebrew, French, and a few other languages. These words light up my heart and my brain, and they remind me that I do have the personal power to make choices every day to change the world for good, just like my mother and grandmother did, one person at a time. More importantly, those song lyrics remind me that we are not alone. We are a family, a community, a village, a city. We are a university, a church, a temple, a hospital. We are a school, a gurdwara. We are a nation, a continent, and an entire planet of one people. 3.9 billion women and girls are in the world today, and it is together we thrive. Together we make a collective difference that matters, that lifts each other up to the possibilities of a better life and a better planet for us all. Together we rise, and that means we need each one of you to take action, join a group, raise your hand, or start a small circle of women. In a recent meditation by author, activist, and spiritual leader Marianne Williamson wrote these words: we don't want to accept that what is what has to be. We want to pierce the veil of illusion that separates us from a world of infinite possibility. We want another kind of life for ourselves and for the world. We are considering that there might be another way, a door to miraculous realms simply waiting to be opened. And we don't need to wait for someone else to make the first move. We don't need to look to female movie stars, lawyers, journalists to step forward, although we are inspired by their light. We can change where we are in small ways every single ordinary day through simple, extraordinary actions of compassion and concern. And that change, that small change, will spread to the woman who lives nearby and to her best friend, to the little girl who plays down the street, and to the little girl who plays with her. It will spread to the next community and the next, to the next town and the next. In the words of the inspired leader and peaceful advocate, Mahatma Gandhi, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a former president of India, became known as the People's President, and he's often quoted for saying these words: where there is righteousness, goodness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. And when there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. What I do in the world, my business, my company, my career, my passion, is devoted to improving brain function for all ages, to changing the model of aging in the world, So all of us, especially our children, understand that we can make simple personal choices to provide cognitive resilience and reserve for the rest of our years here on earth without fear or limitation. My wish is for all of us to live out our lives with optimal functionality, quality of life, and active participation in all we need to do and desire to do in order to experience life at its fullest. However, the work that I do, the work that each one of you does, is simply a platform, a springboard, so we can care, connect, and collaborate face to face, one on one with other women like us who want to make a positive difference in the world for ourselves and our families. Whether we're nurses, artists, teachers, or mothers, volunteers, writers, whether we're dancers, singers, farmers, or scientists, whatever it is we do in our daily lives, we all have opportunities every day to open a door to change for good. All we need to do is step in and say, "How can I be of help?" Perhaps just as importantly, we all know other women and girls in our families and our communities that we can invite to join us as we collaborate for positive change. Yes, you figured it out. I'm an optimist. Yet I'm an optimist who believes we can overcome the very real challenges, hardships, inequities, and sometimes tedious work required to make changes for good when we roll up our sleeves and do the work one step at a time. According to Dr. Paula Fellingham, Win Win Women founder and one of the global directors for this day that celebrates women all over the world, the goal of the International Women's Day events is to educate, inspire, and honor women in India and worldwide, and to share the wisdom of experts so that during and after these events, men and women working together can help lift the level of love, prosperity, and peace on earth. No act of kindness, service, or compassion is too small to make a large difference. And where two or more of us are gathered together and committed to a change for good, possibilities will present themselves and doors will open. So just 4 simple steps to start changing the world you live in. 1, identify what need in your community you care about most. 2, find a specific person who needs your help or an organization that addresses that need. 3, walk through their door and say, "How can I help?" And don't forget, 4, invite another woman to join you in your service, for it is together we rise, together we change the world for good. Now, let me tell you how to access support for positive change where you live. Win Win Women offers daily TV shows every week that you can access on your phone, featuring women experts from all over the world, providing information on every relevant topic imaginable. Go to winwinwomen.com and click on Watch Our Shows. You can also watch Living a Graceful Life, the show offered by my company, Ageless Grace Brain Health. It's hosted by Tracy Gelb, a young and inspirational female leader in the field of movement, emotional and cognitive health, and quality of life. The show's live and interactive at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday evenings. You can also view previously recorded sessions on topics that can improve your life and the life of those you love. I invite you to visit my website as well for a free Ageless Grace class and free 31-page booklet on graceful aging at agelessgrace.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today is the beginning. Let's take our next step to changing the world for good side by side, for together we thrive. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you.